Good morning, Algebra scholars. Hope you had a nice weekend. Today, you are still starting off with integer problems. And the reason being is integers are a huge part of algebra, and they don't go away in geometry and algebra 2. They're never going to disappear. So the idea is each day you practice this and you become faster and faster at solving them. So you want to just be able to look at a problem and immediately know the answer in your head faster than you would be able to put it in a calculator. And that's how you're really going to succeed, like on time tests like the STAR and ACT, SAT, etc. So keeping that in mind, let's look at some of these problems. So number 1, I have a 2 minus a negative 7. This is just something you have to know. If I see a minus and a negative together, it becomes 1 plus sign. 2 plus 7 is 9. When I look at number 2, I'm going to draw out a number line for this. Number 2, it's negative 8 plus 3. So I'm starting at negative 8, and I'm going ahead 1, 2, 3 in the positive direction. Because I know that 0 would be somewhere over here. And this would be negative 7, negative 6, negative 5. So negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5. I could do the same thing for number 3. Oh, I'm starting at positive 5. And I'm going to the left because it's negative, so the negatives move to the left 6 times. So Miss Pietraboni drew her number line completely wrong. Starting at positive 5, and I'm going back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it would be 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1. Number 4, you could do it the same way. Oh, I'm starting at negative 1 and I'm adding 7. So I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I land at positive 6. For number 5, just remember I have a minus and a negative. I turn that into a plus sign. Okay, and really challenge yourself to see how quickly you can get through integers. And if you make any mistakes, please go back and fix them. Okay, now when you find your quotient, the rules change. The number line no longer works. We're looking at the sign. So same sign, my answer is positive. Different sign, my answer is always negative. And that's for dividing, which when we say find each quotient, we're dividing, or multiplication, which you do on the next page. Find each product, I'm multiplying, so this still works. Same sign, like 2 negatives, my answer is positive. Different signs, negative. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to solve some inequalities. Now, when you solve an inequality, you are also asked to graph its solutions because inequalities have more than one possible answer. So, greater than, guys, means it can't be the number I get, but it can be more than. So if I get an answer that's greater than, I'm going to put an open circle on my number line and shade to the right. The arrow is kind of showing me which way to shade. If I get less than, I'm going to still use an open circle but shade to the left. Number 31 has greater than or equal to. That means my answer can be the number I get, so I'm going to use a closed circle and shade to the right? And then the other one would be less than or equal to, closed circle, shade to the left. But be careful. We have to remember which side the variable is on and how to read it. So for number 31, I'm going to rewrite it. I'm going to split my equation. I'm going to divide each side by 13. And I get k is greater than or equal to -1. So guys, this means that k can be -1. It could also be anything bigger than -1. So it could be 0, 1, 100, 1,000, a million, a cajillion. So basically, I'm going to make a closed circle at -1 because this tells me my whatever number I want to use for k, it could be -1 or it could be anything greater. So I shade to show where the greater than numbers are. For number 32, remember, if I see a fraction, that means my variable is being divided by 19. The opposite of dividing is multiplying. So I'm going to get x is, listen to me, x is less than, because x has the closed part of the inequality, x is less than, and then 19 times -12 is 9, 10, 11, 12, carry the 1. It would be -228. So this means -228 is greater than x, or x is less than -228. So we always say the alligator or Pac-Man eats the bigger number. In this case, the alligator's mouth or the Pac-Man's mouth is open on the 228. So if I want to rewrite it so that the variable's first, the open mouth would still go to the -228. So what that means is I'm going to use an open circle because x can't be -228. It can only be less. And remember, on the number line, when we go to the left, that's where all of our less numbers are. So I'm just going to shade this way. Okay, looking at number 33, I'm just going to rewrite it so I have more space to solve. Okay, I'm going to add 10 to both sides. And then I get x is, look at open mouth, greater than or equal to -12. So x is the greater than or equal to -12. I could rewrite it as x is greater than or equal to -12. So x could be -12, x could be -11, x could be -10, x could be 0, 1, 2. So I'm going to start at -12. I'm going to put a closed circle because it's greater than or equal to, and shade in the greater than direction. Okay. Number 38 is the next one I'm going to go over. And then I'll go over number 40. Number 38 could be tricky because in order to isolate my variable, I need to divide by a negative. With inequalities, if we divide or multiply by a negative, it doesn't matter if this number is negative, it matters if the number I'm dividing by is negative. I have to flip my inequality symbol so that my inequality remains accurate. So instead of going like greater than, I would go like this. So this means 10 is less than or equal to a, or a is greater than or equal to 10. So I'm going to put a closed dot at 10, and I'm going to shade in the greater than direction. And then for number 40, this is a proportion. So to solve this, we're going to cross multiply. So 19 times 7, 63, carry the 6, 13 is 133. 19 times x is 19x. 133 equals 19x. Divide on each side by 19. And then I shouldn't have used an equal sign here. It was a greater than sign. So then I get 7 is greater than x, or x is less than 7. So I put an open circle on the 7 and shade this way. And all that means is for this proportion to be true, or this statement to be true, whatever number is here has to be less than 7. Otherwise, the fraction wouldn't be smaller. Okay, so guys, it's really important that you're showing the correct work and shading in that number line. If you have any questions, please ask your teacher to contact me. Thank you. Bye.